evening, everybody. How you doing? Giving out no aliases. How's everybody doing this evening? Welcome to the show. My name's Stuart Davis, flawed man of God, s- humble parishioner at a small church just outside of Richmond, Virginia. Not a pastor, not a biblical scholar, and I haven't been to seminary. Not trying to get you to join my church or donate to any special cause. What I'm here to do is talk about God, talk about Jesus, talk about the Holy Spirit, talk about the Bible, talk about Christianity, talk about a wide variety of different issues, topics, current events, and give you my perspective on them. One that I think is reflective of your average Christian guy. I've been a Christian all my life, 41 years non denominational Protestant. I don't subscribe to any particular doctrine or denomination, I'm just in the word daily, trying to do it better each and every day. Some days I'll get it right, many days I'll get it, many times I'll get it wrong. But no matter what you're hearing here is my honest opinion. If you're listening to my voice, if you're tuning into this stream, you can take it to the bank that what I'm telling you is from the heart, straight from me. Um, and so, if you are somebody who is looking to find out more about Christianity, maybe you're new to Christianity, or maybe you're just looking for answers, and you want to get some insight, you want to get some perspective from maybe not a super popular social media influencer, uh, maybe not someone you see on TV, maybe even maybe you're not even comfortable hearing it from a pastor. You don't want to see it from the pulpit. You just want to hear it from the lay person, maybe the guy who would be sitting next to you in the pew. And if that's the case, this is the place. Um, Pull up a chair, stick around, and hopefully whatever I can influence you in as far as uh, what the faith should be, what the faith is supposed to be, the way I feel like it should be. Not to say that I live up to it all the time, um, but what you should expect, and hopefully, what you get here will guide you on a path to salvation, to relationship with God, and on to church attendance. Maybe doing some studying into the Word on your own. Who knows? But as long as you're saved, that's what my goal is. And I hope, like I said, I hope you find it here or anywhere else, anywhere else that can guide you to the true path. If you are already a Christian and you just enjoy Christian discussions and topics, welcome as well. Glad to have you here. You'll find we run this very similar to a Wednesday night study group or a Sunday school. It's all about the small group community right now. We're a small group of folks and love you to join us. Uh, Come on into the chat if you're catching us live. We got a great group of folks tuning in and night out, and we'd love you to be a part of it. These folks range from people just interested in learning more about the word to folks who are there here to correct me at times, and good for them because I do need correcting from time to time. I need clarification. I need perspective, and that's what I can use you for. Be part of the show. Make this show better. Get on there and tell me what your opinion is. What are your thoughts? What am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? What is it that we're discussing that you've got something to say? Maybe you've got some unique insight or experience into whatever the topic or the discussion or whatever the scripture it is, and you can give us a different point of view. Maybe we'll agree with it, maybe we won't, but I want you to share it. And the chat is small enough now that if you put it in the chat, I'll read it and respond to it. And we all want to hear from you. It's a good group of folks. Can't say enough great things about them. And with that said, let's get into the show. It's Thursday. Last stream of the week. last stream of the week. Gonna put this out here because I know we've got some other folks who weren't here on Tuesday night when I started streaming for the first time this calendar year. Thinking about putting together some type of post show gaming, not streamed, not online. I mean online, but not over YouTube or anything, but just maybe through Steam or through Xbox Live or something like that, and maybe a chat through Discord where I'll play a game, you guys can hop on. We just gotta figure out. I know that there's some interest in that from listening to the Discord folks, and just gotta check and all come up with something the majority of us are going to enjoy. Appreciate it. So everybody, welcome Dresden. How's it going? Alias evening. I know you're jamming out to the intro music. Emmanuel Osorio, hello. Says yes, it's true. If Stu can accept my shenanigans and humor, then he's truly the reflection of Christ. No, no, no. I do not come close to that, Emmanuel, but it is a sign that I too am a man who appreciates good shenanigans and humor. And I appreciate the things you say as well, Emmanuel. It's been cool watching kind of just seeing you develop into a more confidently tolerant, and I'm not saying that in a compromising sort of way, but more of a person who's quicker to look for perspective um, before maybe taking action or passing judgment, which I think is something that I think it's something that you've been wanting to improve, right? Um, but again, like we all need to do not compromise principles that God commands us to have. Try to lift others up and bring them to that standard, and bring and bring ourselves, most importantly, to that standard as well. Because if we can't get our own house in order, we certainly can't expect to put anybody else's house in order. Emmanuel says it's true. I don't immediately throw the Xenos into the pyre. Well, yeah, Xenos is a whole different discussion, sir. So, anyway, if you guys are interested in the gaming thing, it's something I want to develop maybe in the coming months, and something that we can all do together. Maybe chat and have a good time after the show. A couple of days a week. It's not going to be an everyday thing. I've got a very full schedule. I'm not saying that in a brag or a humble brag type of way. I'm saying that it's just I think about it, and I don't give enough attention to the Discord that I should. I don't put as much. I see things like my buddy Blaine, who is putting out lots of shorts on YouTube, and good on him for doing so. But it's helping his channel grow greatly, and I just don't have the bandwidth for that. I just don't have the physical bandwidth to do it. I wish I could, but that's why I value you folks who are okay just listening to the word and what I say and what you got, um, and you guys coming in and sharing what you guys want to share, more than all the polish and dedication to the channel. I do what I can, and I'm glad that it's well received. even if the community is smaller than others. Do a Christian meme review series of shorts. That actually is not a bad idea, Internet. And I wish I did remember, dude. That's what my Instagram is, where I want that stuff to go, and I can't even keep up with that. And that one I should be able to, because I've got memes on my phone. I've got instant access to it. I just need to put them on there. I just forget. Anyways, enough about me. Let's talk about the Word, because the Word is why we're here. Because in the beginning there was the Word, and since the Word has been here since the beginning, don't call it a comeback. Been here all along. So we're going to, boom, put that up there. Excuse me. Hold on. Still got a bit of a cold or sinus or creeping crud or whatever it is we're dealing with, but it hasn't affected my voice. It hasn't affected my voice. Real quick before we start into Psalms, I give a good shout out to my wife, who I love very much and have enjoyed the past decade and a half plus. Wow. 2 decades plus knowing her, and mostly being married to her. She is just she just makes me proud of her and what she's capable of every single day. I just want that prosperity thrown out into the ether of the internet. It's now on record. Everything, the internet is written in permanent ink. So anybody at some point might stumble upon this and be like, "Hey, man, Stuart's wife is awesome. He said so." All right. let's talk about Psalm. We're still in Psalm. We have moved what seems to be a little bit away from David's Psalms written by David. But even though David's are very, very powerful, very well written, and just beautiful, for lack of a better word, beautiful. That doesn't mean that there's no weight to any of these. The last one we got last night was full of things to discuss, and the one before that, 44, 43, just had something that we could really relate to. Well, let's see what we've got in store for us tonight with Psalm 45. Emmanuel says, you just show us that you genuinely care about the word and the message, not trying to grift or take advantage. Well, look, let me grift right now, because I'm always grifting for viewers. I'm always grifting for more people to listen to the word, right? Because I do care about the word. I also care about you guys. I care about you guys because what do I say? I want as many people as possible to get into heaven. I want them to accept. That doesn't mean I want God to compromise and set aside his standards, and just let people in who have no desire to accept him. What I want people to do is accept him, and the best way to do that is convince them somehow. I'm not for everybody. My flavor is what it is. It works for some folks. You guys obviously enjoy it, but it doesn't work for everybody. Doesn't work for everybody. But as many more people who can come in, the better it'll be. So if you know somebody who you think would enjoy the show, or if you're just, I know some of you guys just enjoy streaming podcasts or live streams or whatever. If anybody is looking for something, a place to go, and looking for a good community to be a part of, maybe have and maybe grow in their spiritual walk, throw this channel out there. That's all I ask for you guys to do. Throw a link, give them a time, be like, hey, check this guy out. That's what I want you to do. Like and subscribe. Most of you guys already have, and I value that. But I'd love to get more people here because it means more outreach. Doesn't mean I'll ever forget about about you guys if the show ever does become extremely successful. But like I said, if it doesn't, at least I've got you guys here. One moment. Sorry. Doing doing some parentaling stuff. At least I have you guys, and y'all are great. And that's why I say it every night. So, like and subscribe if you haven't. Share the show. The best thing. I'm only trying to grift souls here, not monies. If YouTube wants to pay me, that's great. Those guys deserve to be separated from their coin, not you guys. So, yeah, pay me with that. Let me put YouTube, who can't stand this type of content, let me take their dollars and put it to good use. And with that said, let's move into the show proper. All right. Psalm 45, to the chief musician, set to the lilies, which I don't know what the lilies are, a contemplation of the sons of Korah, a song of love. Oh, my heart is overflowing with a good theme. I recite my composition concerning the king. My tongue is the pen of a ready writer. You are fairer than the sons of men. Grace is poured upon your lips. Therefore, God has blessed you forever. Gird your sword upon your thigh, O mighty one, with your glory and your majesty. And in your majesty, and ride prosperously because of truth, humility, and righteousness. And your right hand shall teach you awesome things. Your arrows are sharp in the heart of the king's enemies. The peoples fall under you. Your throne, O God, is forever and ever. A scepter of righteousness is the scepter of your kingdom. You love righteousness and hate wickedness. Therefore, God, your God, has anointed you with the oil of gladness more than your companions. All your garments are scented with myrrh and aloes and cassia. Out of the ivory palaces by which they have made you glad, kings and daughters are among you honorable women. Wait, hold on. I read that wrong. Let me back up. All your garments are scented with myrrh and aloes and cassia, out of the ivory palaces by which they have made you glad. King's daughters are among your honorable women. At your right hand stands the queen in gold from Ophir. Listen, O daughter, consider and incline your ear. Forget your own people also and your father's house. So the king will greatly desire your beauty because he is your Lord. Worship him. And the daughter of Tyre will come with a gift. The rich among the people will seek your favor. The royal daughter is all glorious within the palace. Her clothing is woven with gold. She shall be brought to the king in robes of many colors. The virgins, her companions who follow her, shall be brought to you. With gladness and rejoicing, they shall be brought. They shall enter the king's palace. Instead of your fathers shall be your sons. Might be reading that. I'm not. Instead of your fathers shall be your sons, whom you shall make princes in all the earth. I will make your name to be remembered in all generations. Therefore, the people shall praise you forever and ever. All right. This one's well written, though I'm a little lost. All right. I don't have the answers. Sometimes I get stumped. I'm not a smart man. Not the smartest person on the planet, and so I'm having difficulty with this. Just don't know who it's talking about or what its aim is. So let me Psalm 45 explained. Let's see what the see what it has to say. I'm surprised God Answers doesn't have it. It doesn't have anything. That's what I really that's what I really want to see. All right, Bible Study Tools has something. Uh, what's going on, Carl? I'm trying to enlighten myself on Psalm 45 because I'm a little lost. I feel there's some things I feel like I'm catching. I feel like I'm catching prophecy here. I think I know kind of where it's going, but I'm not sure to the point. I'm unsure enough to the point where uh, I don't want to. I don't want to run my mouth. I hope so, Carl, but I don't think so. I was talking about that today. But usually, and you know this, usually in Virginia, the bad snowstorms always hit when they say we're not when out of nowhere. Usually when there's a lot of buildup, at least in the central Virginia area, when there's a lot of buildup, we get nothing or a very little bit. But the storms that hit us with significant snow and accumulation, it's always like the night before or the day before. They're like, "Oh, wait, we got a snowstorm coming in." I don't know if that's the same for you, but that's definitely how it hits us. Let's see what this says. No, that doesn't help. That's all Bible Gateway stuff. It's just different translations. All right, let's see this perspective. Psalm 45 describes a mystical king, his bride, and his marriage. The bridegroom in Psalm 45 is the Messiah king. Okay, so Christ. The main subject of the psalm is the king. Of course, there is a long-standing tradition in Judaism that this psalm is prophetic in character and deals with the king Messiah. Okay, well that was the original impressions we were getting. This guy, the whoever's right, the author of this, is getting the same thing. The psalmist is overflowing with a message to teach his recipients. It is a maskil or a teaching psalm. The word overflow in verse 1, here, let me change over. My heart is overflowing with a good thing. The word overflow in verse 1 is a verb meaning to bubble up or boil. It denotes excited emotion or lively excitement. Let the tongue overflow with the songs of praise. Okay, kind of where I was going with this. The heart of the poet gushes out with a good word. Blah blah blah. That's just, he's just talking about sentence structure here. Hold on. No other song have I to sing but Jesus. I can illustrate this. Here's a quote. I can illustrate this enthusiasm with this quote of C.H. Spurgeon on Christ. Listen to the pulse beat of this man of God. Okay. All right. That's putting things in better perspective for me. If the subject is the bridegroom, which is, as we call it, the groom, this is really just talking about Jesus. I recite my composition concerning the king. My tongue is the pen of a ready writer. You are fairer than the sons of men. Grace is poured upon your lips. Therefore, your God has blessed you forever. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, certainly, though we haven't gotten into it, but most of pretty much you folks who have studied the New Testament and the gospel specifically know grace is is a huge part of what Christ talks about. At a time where grace is decidedly short on supply. He comes with it readily. God has blessed you forever, of course. Gird your sword upon your thigh, O mighty one, with your glory and your majesty, and in your majesty ride prosperously because of truth, humility, and righteousness. That is three things that we can also describe to Christ. Right? Truth. He spoke the truth. He brought truth to people who had not heard it for some time. Righteousness, living a sinless life, living an example to us. Obviously, the humility part, might be the hardest to really wrap your head around. But if you think about it, Christ, I mean, we just celebrated Christmas. His birth starts off at the humblest of beginnings. He's born in a garage, basically, or a barnyard, whatever you want to call it. It is not a great place to be. He's sharing it with animals. It's not the most sanitary of things. It is not where you expect the the Son of God, the Messiah, to be born. And yet, humble beginnings. The way he taught obviously was was brimming with confidence, but he also taught us the value of service and supplication. And he shows that by example. He didn't have to brag to everybody. He didn't really even have to tell many people who exactly he was. He let his actions and he let his message speak for him. Oh, also, the resurrection as well. Did a very good job lending credence to what he said. And your right hand shall teach you awesome things. Your arrows are sharp in the heart of the king's enemies. People fall under you. You can call that the Romans, or perhaps more importantly, the Pharisees and the Sadducees back then. The Pharisees and the Sadducees, who were leading. Hold on. Ugh. Anyway, um, what was I saying? Oh, the Pharisees and the Sadducees, who were leading his people, who were part of God's tribe, who were either not managing, not leading the people very well, or just completely um, leading them away from God. It's kind of an enemy right there. One of the reason the Pharisees in particular didn't want to believe that Jesus was the Messiah is because they expected a great warrior to deliver them from the Romans. Oddly enough, following his resurrection and ascension into heaven and the Great Commission, Rome goes through, in the centuries to come, a rather drastic change. But I think the Pharisees were only thinking locally and thinking immediately. Who's our enemy right now? Who's our occupier right now? Who's occupying us here? It's the Romans. The Romans weren't the first. They'd been occupied before. So I'm not sure why they thought that God would just send the Messiah to beat somebody who God had beaten others like them before. There's a much older and ancient enemy and a bigger problem than just being occupied going on. And that was abandoning the covenant, not understanding the word and the commandments and the spirit behind them, and needing a reminder and needing to put Satan in his place. Oh, your throne, O God, is forever and ever. The scepter of righteousness is the scepter of your kingdom. You love righteousness and hate wickedness. Therefore, God, your God, has anointed you with the oil of gladness more than your companions. All of your garments are scented with myrrh and aloes and cassia, out of the ivory palaces by which they have made you glad. Our king's daughters are among your honorable women. At your right hand stands the queen in gold from Ophir. You may see what that might be pointing towards. That would be an interesting. Let's see. In the New Testament, the church is compared to the queen. Okay, the queen, she is the bride of Christ, as we often call and refer to the church. Every true believer in Jesus Christ down through the ages is his bride. He counts his universal invisible body as his spouse. The spiritual communion between Christ and his church are compared to a marriage relationship. Wait until we get into Hosea. That's going to put Hosea, when we get to that point, Hosea is really, really going to put a lot of stuff in perspective. It's a hard read. Listen, O daughter, consider and incline your ear. Forget your own people also and your father's house. So the king will greatly desire your beauty. In that case, in that consideration, it's like, look, stop worrying about all the earthly things. Listen to what God's telling you to do. Live it out and be this beautiful thing that he has created. Because he is your Lord, worship him, and the daughter of Tyre will come with a gift. The rich among the people will seek your favor. The royal daughter is all glorious within the palace. Her clothing is woven with gold. She shall be brought to the king in robes of many colors, like Joseph's coat. The virgins, her companions who follow her, shall be brought to you. With gladness and rejoicing, they shall be brought. They shall enter the king's palace. Instead of your fathers shall be your sons, with whom you shall make princes, or whom you shall make princes in all the earth. I will make your name to be remembered in all generations. Therefore, the people shall praise you forever and ever. Heavily, heavily prophetic here. Then, once you really accept what it's pointing at, which is Jesus. And it makes a lot of what we're going to read better. This is one of the things I talked about yet last night, why it's important to read the Bible in order. However, Psalms and the prophecy books, now that I'm thinking about it, are probably good to go back and reread after you read the Gospels. We're not going to do that on the show. We might do that as another project, is basically point to different things and be more um, intentional about that. But if you're studying the Word and you're following along with this, and you're reading the Psalms, you're reading Proverbs, Isaiah, Jeremiah, the big and little prophets, then you get to the New Testament, read the Gospels, then go back and read those books of prophecy and Psalm, and it's going to be like, oh man, these were all that. And I think who was it? Yex in the chat had said this at one point, was all, if not most, of these Psalms have prophecy or have references to Christ in them, and this is no different. But it's just talking about the beauty of the love, the love between Christ and how great he is, and his bride, which is the church, and us following him with the dedication that he is entitled to. All right. And somewhere in there, Emmanuel wrote, "Without serving, we cannot leave." Now, I remember this part of basic training. I was a wintertime cycle in 2000 and 2001 into 2002. So I was there during Thanksgiving, and one of the things that they did for us was, during Thanksgiving, the drill sergeants and the rest of the cadre got in their dress blues, which actually looked good back then. And because it was Fort Knox, these were cavalry blues, um, which are beautiful. They've got the Stetsons. They were when the Army. I know I'm getting off topic. When the Army decided to change from the greens to the blues, I was excited because the greens, it's kind of a little boring. I do miss them now, but the greens are kind of a little boring. And I'd seen the blues; they looked awesome. They looked like the old late 1800s cavalry uniforms, with the gold embroidery around, and it just and the cavalry hats. They looked great. They looked awesome. So they said they were going to blues. But what they did was redesign the blues. So what they ended up looking like were mall cops. And I hated it. Now they got the pinks and greens, which are amazing. Amazingly good, which are basically going back to the World War II style of dress uniforms. But anyway, the dress blues at that time were an alternate dress uniform, and they were special. They were for special occasions. So the cadre and the drill sergeants got in their dress blues and got in the serving line and served all of us food, our Thanksgiving meals. and they thanked each one of us when we came across. These are folks who said the most awful things to us throughout our training cycle. However, it put into perspective to us and I had a lot of prep going into it, that what basic training really is a mind game. It's a mind game more than anything else. They're trying to break you down. They're trying to present you with conflict, obstacles, things that you have to persevere through. But what you don't really catch on, except for the moments like this where kind of the drill sergeants let their guard down a little bit, it's all because they care about what they're doing and what they're creating with us as soldiers. It takes sometimes service to let a person know that you care, and maybe show them how important service is. Leadership starts at the top. Culture starts at the top. It has to be set at the top. God has done all these things. And God, and I've said this a couple of days ago. He's not going to ask you to do something that he's not willing to do himself, because he's done it for us. In sacrifice, he showed us big time that he's willing to do more sacrifice than we are. So yes, man, without serving, we cannot lead. That doesn't mean we obsess over service. We don't do that. It gets in the way. Trust me. I know folks who take that way too much to heart, to the point where you're not leading anymore. You're just serving. And that's not what Jesus did. That's not what Jesus did. It's almost like good manners, right? Service is part of good manners. Wait, did I read 6 and not 5? 46, not 45? I did read 45. We haven't read 46 yet. Okay. Sorry, guys. All right. Psalm 46. God, the refuge of his people and conqueror of the nations. To the chief musician, a psalm of the sons of Korah, a song for Alamoth. I don't know who Alamoth is, or what Alamoth is, or where Alamoth is. Whatever. 46. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, even though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea, though its waters roar and be troubled, though the mountains shake with its swelling. Selah. There is a river whose streams shall make glad the city of God, the holy place of the tabernacle of the Most High. God is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. God shall help her just at the break of dawn. The nations raged, the kingdoms were moved. He uttered his voice, the earth melted. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Selah. Come, behold the works of the Lord, who has made the desolations in the earth. He makes wars cease to the end of the earth. He breaks the bow and cuts the spear in two. He burns the chariot in the fire. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is us. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Selah. Nico, welcome to the show. This is powerful. And a little bit change of pace. Like I said, we're kind of getting out of that. We're kind of getting away from these Psalms of David where you say it's like, hey, give me strength. I'm a sinner, but I've got all these enemies around me. These are just a little bit different tone, a little bit more prophetic at times. But seriously, here is, look, God is our strength, refuge, and our strength, very present help in trouble. We've covered this many times. It's good to repeat this. Always repeat this. If you are in trouble, God is with you. That doesn't mean he's agreeing with what you're doing. That doesn't mean that you're the good guy. God is there for you to turn to and look to for answers, for guidance, for help. He encourages us to do so. Don't confuse that with saying God is going to help you do whatever you want. That's not the same. But if you're acting righteously, he absolutely is a rock to lean against. And if you are acting unrighteously, he is a place to reset and start doing the right thing. Therefore, we will not fear, even though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea, basically to the ends of the earth, right? No matter what, water's roaring and being troubled, the mountains shake with its swelling. And we don't have to worry about the water so much. God said he wasn't going to destroy the earth with water again. There is a river whose streams shall make glad the city of God, the holy place of the tabernacle of the Most High. Sorry, guys, this cough. This cough and this congestion is setting me off. I powered through it. You guys are worth it. God's worth it. The holy place of the tabernacle of the Most High. God is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. God shall help her just at the break of dawn. The nations raged, the kingdoms were moved. He uttered his voice, the earth melted. Maybe a discussion of things to come, maybe talking about the fall of Rome. Who knows? Other people may have a good appreciation for that. But what I'm really saying is, look, God is our refuge. We can depend on him until the ends of the earth and beyond. And his church will stand as long as we keep him in mind and make that church a place that he wants to dwell in. He's got our backs. The Lord of hosts is with us, and the God of Jacob is our refuge, right? God's got your back. Come, behold the works of the Lord, who has made desolations in the earth. He makes wars cease to the ends of the earth. He breaks the bow and cuts the spear in two. He burns the chariot in fire. He will be. They talked about World War II or World War I, the war to end all wars, and then we have another world war like right after that. Well, folks, I got news for you. That wasn't it. And we're going to have more wars until God comes. But when he does, that'll be the end of that. That will be the end of that. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the earth, I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. You're going to hear that again, too. So keep that in for future reference. Okay, guys, we're going to close this out for the night. Another nice little hourly chat from y'all. We are going to close this out for the weekend. Again, if you're in the Discord, let me know what you think about the gaming idea. I'm going to be harping on that for the rest of the month just to get until I get everybody's input. Some of you guys are slow to do that. I love you guys. But yeah. I want you guys to be safe this weekend and productive. I say this every time. Be safe, be productive, be restful. Remember, God has a day of rest for us. He took a rest. If rest is good enough for God, rest is good enough for us. So, to Nico, Emmanuel, Carl, Alias, Texan Italian, Dresden. Short chat tonight, but that's not bad. Thank you guys for being part of the chat. Thank you guys for all the contributions you make to this show. Thank you for being here and letting it be known in whatever way, in whatever capacity you do it. To everybody who is just listening and not participating in the chat. How dare you? How dare you? Just kidding. I'd love for you guys to be in the chat, but I understand that you can't or won't for whatever reason you have. I'm just glad that there's content that you're getting out of this that keeps you coming back. And to everybody else who is in here, who is catching this show on replay, don't forget to like and subscribe. Guys, drop a comment. If you're catching it on replay, drop a comment. Tell me how it went. Tell me whatever you want to get off your chest. I do read them. I don't get a lot of them. So when I do pop up, I generally read them. Drop a comment, but regardless, thank you for tuning in, and I hope to catch you live sometime. Everybody have a very good night, and God bless.